Right then guys, it's PSL here for the 16th and final episode in my Formula 1 2003 Reverse Grid Race series. If you were to describe the perfect setup to a Grand Prix, then I think the 2003 Japanese Grand Prix comes close. But this reverse grid Japanese Grand Prix is it. Firstly, the qualifying session threw up quite a few surprising results. Ralf Schumacher struggled in qualifying, understandably though, because he was the second to last driver to run in qualifying, and towards the end of the session it started raining. So Ralf Schumacher went out on dry tyres on a wet track. Unsurprisingly, the lap didn't go especially well for him, so he went into the pits and didn't complete his qualifying lap. Jarno Trulli was the last to run in qualifying and didn't even start his qualifying lap. There was no point, he stood nothing to gain from doing it, and actually, by not completing a qualifying lap, he wasn't bound by the Parc Ferme rules. Same can be said for Ralf Schumacher. Michael Schumacher was one of the last drivers to run in qualifying, so his lap was also rain affected. He even qualified behind Takuma Sato, who stepped into Jacques Villeneuve's seat, because Villeneuve realised he wasn't going to be retained by BAR for the following season, so kicked up a fuss and left the team with one race left to go. So Takuma Sato raced in Jacques Villeneuve's car, of course not in this series. Anyway, Michael Schumacher, the situation he's in this reverse grid race series is kind of the opposite to the situation he was in the real life 2003 season. Because in real life, Michael Schumacher had the points lead on his championship rival Kimi Raikkonen, but he started behind his championship rival. In this series it is completely the other way round, because Michael Schumacher is second in the Drivers' Championship, 6 points behind his teammate, but Michael Schumacher is starting from 7th. Barrichello, with a 6-point championship lead, is starting from 20th. Rubens Barrichello didn't have any rain affect his qualifying lap time, that's why he qualified on pole position. But that really isn't going to help Barrichello. He's got a 6 points lead, which is sizable. That is a lot to close down in one race. However, this is not going to be a normal race. If Michael Schumacher wins the Grand Prix, Barrichello has to finish in 4th, at least. If Schumacher finishes in 2nd, then Barrichello has to finish in the top 6. If Michael Schumacher finishes in 3rd, then Barrichello has to finish inside the top 8. He has to score a point. That's because Michael Schumacher's race finishing record this season is spellbinding. He has won 7 races over the course of this season. 7 races, just under half of the races we have done this season have been won by Michael Schumacher. Barrichello's only won 2, Raikkonen 2, Coulthard, who was a championship contender up until the end of the previous Grand Prix, hasn't won a single race. Neither's Ralf Schumacher. Montoya's won 1 race, Alonso 2, Trulli 1. No other driver even comes close to the same number of race wins as Michael Schumacher. So if Schumacher ends the season tied on points with Barrichello, then Schumacher wins the championship.
The final race then of the 2003 Formula 1 World Championship is at Suzuka in Japan, and we're all set to go. The lights go out of this downhill start and they're rushing towards this very, very fast turn one. We've seen plenty of action here over the years. Are they all going to get through safely? Only a single racing line through here.
Well, Jarno Trulli is still leading the Japanese Grand Prix. He started on pole position, he is still in first. Ralf Schumacher still in second, then it's Wilson, then Fisichella, then Verstappen, and Michael Schumacher in 6th place. He's made up one position already, and well, there just isn't the room for him to get past the Minardi or Jordan driver because they're battling side by side. He's got the speed, but, well, he's found a slight gap. He's got alongside the Jordan driver. In fact, whoa, that is erratic movement from Michael Schumacher. He's up into 5th place. He is going to try and go around the outside of Jos Verstappen. That hasn't worked, and Fisichella has repassed Michael Schumacher. Well, let's go on board. Well, in fact, there's Barrichello, the other championship rival, in 17th, soon to be 16th, passing the Toyota driver there. So, Michael Schumacher in 6th place. He has to finish in the top 3. Regardless of where Barrichello finishes, he has to score 6 points. And so far, he's only going to score 3 points. There's plenty of time left. Plenty of time. However, 3rd place might not be enough. It really depends on where Barrichello finishes. But 1 lap nearly done, and Schumacher, he's made up 1 place. If he makes up a position a lap, then he's going to win the Grand Prix easily. However, every single lap, every single second that he is stuck up behind Jos Verstappen, you've got, well, also Justin Wilson is pulling away actually, but Ralf Schumacher and Jarno Trulli are pulling off into the distance. And that's the thing, is 3rd might be enough for Michael Schumacher, but he might need 2nd, he might even need the race win. It might be academic, actually. It really might be, it depends on where Barrichello finishes. Even still, Michael Schumacher, 17 laps left to go, still behind Fisichella. So he's cleared 1 of the Jordan drivers, but he's still got to get past the other one and both Minardis. This is similar to the San Marino Grand Prix. I'm getting slight flashbacks, however, there's still plenty of time, plenty of laps left to go. But Michael Schumacher still in 6th for the time being. Let's go down to Rubens Barrichello, see if he's made any more movement. Not really actually, still in 17th place. Montoya is ahead of him. He did pass Cristiano de Mata.
Toyota's Olivier Panis really wants to get past Mark Webber.
Schumacher has just set the fastest lap.
He moves left, then right, and he still can't pass the car in front.
Well, Rubens Barrichello finally overtaking someone. That is Barrichello up to 16th place. Actually, it is all going on down the back end of the grid. Barrichello passing the McLaren driver of Kimi Räikkönen. So Barrichello is up into 15th place. Having said that, the good news for Schumacher fans is that I think 3rd place will be enough for Michael. I just don't see Barrichello getting into a points place. And even if he moves further up towards the front, Montoya is still in front of him, so is Fernando Alonso, David Coulthard as well. However, the bad news for Schumacher fans is that Michael Schumacher is still in 6th. He hasn't even attempted to get past Fisichella. Well, I say attempted, I mean I'm sure Schumacher's trying, I'm not doubting that, but there hasn't been a move, a lunge, a late braking move, anything. There's just been nothing, absolutely nothing. And towards the front, well, Ralf Schumacher in 2nd place, Jarno Trulli in 1st. It is really 3rd place or bust for Michael Schumacher. There is no way, unless Michael Schumacher passes Fisichella and both Minardi drivers now, there is no way he's going to finish above 3rd. Unless there's retirements. Now this is something I should mention. Reliability could well play a factor, however, historically, Schumacher isn't likely to benefit if there are retirements. So far this season, Michael Schumacher has retired from 4 races. 4 races. Barrichello has only retired once. Towards the front, well, let's have a look. Ralf Schumacher has retired 3 times this season. Jarno Trulli 2 times, only twice. So that's the thing, is retirements could well play a factor, of course, both Minardi drivers and Fisichella. Fisichella actually, an interesting one for retirements, because Fisichella for a large part of the season didn't retire at all. But very recently, he has retired a lot. Fisichella has retired from 4 races, 4 Grand Prix, all of them recent. So, there you go. Retirement could well save Michael Schumacher, they really could, but ultimately, unless a lot of drivers in front of him retire, well, 3 drivers in front of him retire, he will need to make overtakes, and so far, he hasn't made an overtake since the first lap. I almost feel like I've commentators cursed this, but you're about to see Jarno Trulli, the race leader, retire from the Japanese Grand Prix. So that means Michael Schumacher is now in 5th place. Jarno Trulli with an engine failure at high speeds. That's really unfortunate, and also quite scary. Not just for Trulli, but also for Ralf Schumacher, who had had to have driven through engine smoke. But anyway, Ralf Schumacher is now leading the Grand Prix. Justin Wilson is in 2nd. Of course, in real life, it was Nicholas Kieser. Although actually his name might have been pronounced Chiesa. So if there's any Danes watching this video, then please do let me know how you pronounce Nicholas Chiesa's surname. Anyway, Justin Wilson in this game is in 2nd. Michael Schumacher is in 5th. He just needs to overtake 2 drivers. 2 drivers. They could be 2 Minardi drivers, a Minardi driver and Fisichella in the Jordan. It doesn't matter. Michael Schumacher just needs 2 overtakes and he's got 11 laps to do it. Oh, hang on, this is very interesting. Kimi Räikkönen is in 19th place. And as you can see, he has got on the right hand side of the speedo on his steering wheel a permanently flashing light, and Kimi Räikkönen is in 19th, last of the runners. There's Olivier Panis several seconds up the road. Kimi Räikkönen has got the same slowdown issue that has affected Michael Schumacher twice this season. Do you know what it also means? It also means Kimi Räikkönen is officially the unluckiest driver with retirements this season. I'll talk more about it after the race, but Kimi Räikkönen has retired from 6 races this season. 6 races he did not finish. And this is a 7th car issue, because yes, he's still running, but with no pace. He's down in 19th, got no speed, slowest guy in the field. So there you go, that is the 7th car issue for Kimi Räikkönen. Oh, there you go, Kimi Räikkönen, doubly unlucky. He had the car slowdown issue and an engine failure. Total engine failure for Kimi Räikkönen. Let's get this on the replay. So, Kimi Räikkönen, the unluckiest driver, without a doubt, unquestionably, in this series. Ralf Furman was called out early on to be a driver who suffered a lot of car reliability issues, and certainly he's up there, but Kimi Räikkönen has had 1 slowdown issue and retired from 7 Grand Prix. 7 of the 16 races. That means Kimi Räikkönen has only finished 9 races this season. That is awful, awful reliability. For 21st century F1, that is awful. Even by 1990s, 1980s standards, that is mediocre. Kimi Räikkönen has been so unlucky with car reliability this season. It's actually tragic. And do you know what makes the whole thing worse? David Coulthard hasn't retired from a single race this season, and not only that, David Coulthard is the only driver not to have retired from a single race this season. So the 2 McLaren cars are polar opposites. The one painted with Kimi has had the worst reliability of any car on the grid. The one painted with David has had perfect reliability. It's the only car on the grid to have achieved that.
He's looking left, now right, and surely this is... But no, still he can't make the move stick. Surely this is costing him time.
Of course it's costing him time. It's not just costing him time, it's also costing him the 2003 Drivers' Championship. Michael Schumacher is still in 5th place. He's got 2 laps left to go. Ralf Schumacher's got basically 1 lap left to go. Ralf Schumacher, or as the game sometimes calls him, Schumacher Jr. But anyway, Schumacher Jr., Ralf Schumacher, has been setting fastest lap after fastest lap. He's about to start the final lap of the race. No new fastest lap. Okay, I did go quiet then, quite abruptly, because I thought Ralf Schumacher was going to set a new fastest lap. But apparently not. He did on the previous lap though. Michael Schumacher, he has got 1.5 laps left to go. We're heading now down towards Spoon Curve, and I just don't see it happening. I really don't. Barrichello is not going to win this championship through his own efforts. Barrichello, last I saw, was in 14th place. I think that is still the case. Yeah, 14th place. So, Barrichello, really, all he's got to do is just wait and hear about Michael Schumacher's progress. All Schumacher has to do is overtake a Jordan driver and a Minardi. Around most circuits on this game, that is easy. The really tragic thing is around Monaco, that's easy for Michael to do. But not here. Not here. If the final round of the season was Indianapolis, if it's, I was going to say Monza then, of course not Monza, but if it was pretty much anywhere else, Schumacher could do that without even thinking. But look at Schumacher's best laps. Frenzen's are the same, and that shouldn't be the case because Schumacher's held up in traffic, but so's Frenzen. Even still, this is going to be a fantastic race for Minardi. Justin Wilson will finish in 2nd and Jos Verstappen in 3rd. It's going to be a double podium finish for Minardi. That is fantastic. But exiting the Casio Triangle, Ralf Schumacher is going to win the 2003 Japanese Grand Prix.
Wins here today. He'll be rewarded with a full 10 points for his Drivers' Championship campaign, and his team will be delighted with this well-deserved win. Let's head straight over now and join them for the podium celebration before we have a look at the full race results and the latest championship standings.
Well, of course, Williams will be elated with Ralf Schumacher's race win because Schumacher winning the race means that I think Williams have definitely finished 3rd in the Constructors' Championship. They've beaten Renault because Renault, like most of the other top half teams, have struggled. Actually, that means Jarno Trulli's retirement was massive. It was actually big. For the Constructors' Championship, it really was a big retirement. Anyway, Justin Wilson is going to finish in 2nd around Suzuka, and Jos Verstappen has made it a Minardi 2-3. Elation for one Italian team, but, well, I know Michael Schumacher is Ferrari's protege, but look, 1 minute 2 seconds behind his younger brother. Ralf Schumacher beat everyone by over a minute. Everyone by over a minute. Michael Schumacher finished in 5th. He has not won the 2003 Drivers' Championship. Rubens Barrichello has. Rubens Barrichello is the 2003 Formula 1 Reverse Grid Drivers' Champion. So as you can see, in the Drivers' Championship, Rubens Barrichello is on top. He's got 84 points. His teammate Michael has only got 82. So let me just say it again. Rubens Barrichello is the Formula 1 2003 Reverse Grid Drivers' Champion. And actually, by Barrichello winning this season's championship, that means he is the first driver to have won a Reverse Grid Championship who was never a Formula 1 World Drivers' Champion. Barrichello won this championship for the same reason that Michael Schumacher won the real-life 2003 Drivers' Championship, and that's because they had reliability on their side. In the real-life season, Michael Schumacher only retired once, whereas Kimi Raikkonen retired 3 times. In this reverse grid season, well, you can see on screen, Michael Schumacher retired 4 times. 4 times! But Kimi Raikkonen retired 7 times. 7 times! He also had a car slowdown issue. Michael Schumacher had 2 of those, but those 2 drivers were the worst hit with reliability, by far. The only drivers that really come close are the 2 Jordan drivers, actually. Fisichella and Ralph Furman have both got 4 retirements apiece. The real tragedy is that if Kimi Raikkonen retired just a few less times, even if he retired 4 times, the same amount as both Jordan drivers, Raikkonen would still probably have been in championship contention in this race. Let's not forget the Spanish Grand Prix when Raikkonen had an engine failure whilst leading, dominating. If Raikkonen's car reliability was just a bit better, then he could have won this championship. Same could be said for Michael Schumacher. If Michael Schumacher had one less retirement, one less car slowdown issue, then he definitely would have won the championship. So working our way down the Drivers' Championship, you've got David Coulthard in 3rd. Hugely impressive season. Yes, he got lucky through reliability, no car issues at all. Hugely impressive, and that goes a long way to him finishing in 3rd. Also, his poor qualifying performances in real life helped him out immeasurably in this championship. Kimi Raikkonen, despite all the retirements, finished the season with only 11 points less than his teammate. Montoya, hugely impressive season, certainly compared to his teammate. Montoya with 52 points, up there with the McLaren and Ferrari drivers. He also beat both Renault drivers, of which Alonso came out on top. Trulli ends the season tied on points with Button, but Trulli comes out on top by virtue of having won a race, whereas Button's best finish is 2nd. Then you've got Ralf Schumacher. Ralf Schumacher, 10 points in the final race. That means Ralf Schumacher, despite his incredibly disappointing season, especially when compared to his teammate, Ralf Schumacher has finished in the top half of the Drivers' Championship, which really shouldn't be an achievement, not with his car, not with a Williams BMW, but unfortunately it is an achievement. Although, credit to Ralf Schumacher, he did end the season on a high. So did Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Actually, Heinz-Harald Frentzen finishes the season on 13 points. He scored 3 more points from this Grand Prix. Jos Verstappen and Justin Wilson end the season on 25 points each. 25 points apiece. That is deeply impressive for 2 Minardi drivers. It also means that Minardi ends the season on 50 points. 50 points, and do you know what? That was so nearly enough to beat BAR. Even still, Minardi have finished 6th in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari won the Constructors' Championship, and they did it with a race to spare. McLaren were the only other team to finish on triple-figure points. Williams beat Renault by quite a margin come the end, although let's not forget it was a long and close-fought battle between the two teams, although come the end Williams came out on top. But they really should have done. They're a top 3 team. They really should have been beating Renault. Then, as previously mentioned, you've got BAR in 5th, Minardi in 6th, and I cannot stress enough how big of an achievement that is for the Minnow Italian team. Jordan ended the season in 7th, Sauber 8th, and then you've got the 2 teams who never really got up to much. They never really did anything of real achievement, anything really even memorable, to be honest. However, having said that, Jaguar did achieve something by beating Toyota. Jaguar scored 12 points over the course of the season, Toyota only got 8. That's an average of half a point per race. So that's everything. The final round, the final race, the final episode in my Formula 1 2003 Reverse Grid Race series. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. I know I certainly did, because it's up there with one of the best reverse grid series I've ever done. There were races where the likes of Minardi and Jordan were able to score a bundle of points, even on occasion finish on the podium. But there were also plenty of races where Ferrari and McLaren were able to assert their dominance. And car failures certainly spiced up the championship to make this a truly fantastic reverse grid race series. And I'll see you guys in the not too distant future for my next reverse grid race season, which will be on F104. So I'll see you guys then.